we're going to allow ourselves to close out 2023 with a calm mind and a calm spirit. Whatever you need to do to get yourself into that place, you need to do it. Hello and welcome to the Empress podcast. I am your host, Jessica, known in the online space as Jess the Empress. I started this podcast to help you be present with yourself, cope with chaos, and simplify your life. I do this by combining psychology, behavioral science, and the tarot. I have a background in mental health, specifically a master's in clinical social work from USC, and I'm a professional tarot reader. So get ready to have a nurturing, creative, and empowering experience with me as we use practical magic. Hey there, coffee lovers. Are you tired of settling for boring coffee? I have a treat for you. Today's episode is brought to you by Heartwork Coffee Bar, your one-stop destination for exceptional coffee experiences. Whether you're a coffee connoisseur or just someone who appreciates a great cup of joe, Heartwork Coffee Bar is here to elevate your coffee game to new heights. At Heartwork Coffee Bar, they take pride in their craft because each batch is carefully roasted to perfection, ensuring that every sip is a symphony of flavor. From the rich and the robust to the light and fruity, they have a coffee blend for every palate. And here's the best part. For you amazing podcast listeners, Heartwork Coffee Bar is offering an exclusive 10% discount on your purchase. Just use the code Empress10 at checkout and you'll save big on your order. Why settle for ordinary when you can indulge in the extraordinary coffee from Heartwork Coffee Bar? Remember to use code Empress10 for that special 10% discount and treat yourself to the coffee experience that you deserve. Don't miss out on this fantastic offer. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thanks to Heartwork Coffee Bar for making today's episode possible. Now go grab your favorite mug, brew a fresh cup, and enjoy the podcast with the perfect companion, Heartwork Coffee Bar. Cheers. Hey love, before we get to today's episode, I want to ask you to rate and review my podcast. Giving me a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts would mean the world to me. I love knowing who's listening and what everyone is getting from the episode, so please take a moment of your time to share your thoughts, and I look forward to reading your reviews soon. Hello, my loves. Welcome to the December 2023 episode. We're going to get into a little tarot reading so that way we can know what to expect for the month ahead. If you are new here, welcome. If you are not new, welcome back. Thank you so much for giving me your time. You could be hanging out with anybody, listening to anybody, but you chose me and I appreciate you. Well, let's just talk about what's been going on. I'm settling in to San Diego full time, which is a really nice place to live. I freaking love it here. I've loved it ever since I moved here in 2015, and I'm really happy to be back. So life has been pretty good for me. I've been taking trips to the zoo, getting out there, trying different restaurants, eating delicious food. My hot girl walk game has been really good. Been making an effort to go to the gym more frequently as well, and I feel good. I feel like I'm getting back into myself, and I know that some of you guys have even commented about that on Instagram, and I just appreciate you because you really see me, you know what I mean, and you have like an active investment in me, and I think that's really cool. But yeah, settling in, feeling really good. I am behind the scenes working on something huge. You guys have seen me promo it on Instagram, the Hellacious Hotties Academy. I've talked about it here on the podcast before as well. And I'm expanding the offer, not just so that you can see me one-on-one and we have like the coaching or like the group coaching, but yeah, there's some other stuff going to happen with the Hellacious Hotties Academy and I cannot wait. But for now, everything behind the scenes just has to get done. I've got my notebook. It has my daily outline tasks, like this is what I'm doing to accomplish this. Whew, let me tell you, the pressure is on. But honestly, I love a good deadline. I don't know about you guys, but if you work for yourself, you have to get comfortable setting deadlines and just going all in, and that's really where I'm at. So there's a lot on my plate in the best way, and hopefully December is treating all of you well. You're coming off of Thanksgiving, right? So hopefully you get to decompress before you ramp up and see friends and family again. All right, so what are we looking at for December? We did have a card fall out, and it is the Two of Pentacles. That seems very appropriate given the vibe, given all the chaos that everyone's got going on, self-included. So with the Two of Pentacles, the mirror card for the Two of Pentacles comes from the Major Arcana, and that is the High Priestess, because she's ruled by the number 2. But here we're looking at a balance of our physical realm. We're looking at a balance of our time, our energy, our resources, our money, our home life, right? Career. Think about all of this stuff that we take on every single day, all the things that we actually do every single day. And what I think is interesting about the Two of Pentacles, we read Pentacles in tarot, or at least I do as a reader, as a receptive energy. And so there has to be, amidst all of the doing, something for us, right? Because we're the doer of all the things. If you look at the card here, there's a person juggling the pentacles. And so what I think about this is like, if this person isn't centered and balanced, how on earth are they going to handle any of this? What I also like about the Two of Pentacles is the choppy seas in the background. Let me tell you, I feel like moms and business owners are going to resonate the most with this, but like, there's so much out of your control, and there's so much that you can only get done in a day. And so really understanding what is a priority, what is an emergency, what is a necessity, and what can wait till tomorrow, what can wait till next week. For the sake of the fact that it's December, what can wait till next year? Just really like asking ourselves these questions. I believe that it's so important for us to be as grounded and as centered as possible in ourselves, and also in being centered is being honest. If you don't have an energetic response to something and it's very like, oh my God, I just can't right now, I want you to just check in with that, and I want you to be honest. What are the reasons why you're feeling that way about the particular thing that's in front of you? Do you need to just take a moment and rest and reset and then tackle that thing? Or is it something that you can delegate? Is it something, again, that maybe can wait until next week? Honesty is important. It is a key component in keeping ourselves, again, as grounded as we can possibly be. Nothing is worse than like walking around like a spaz, you know what I mean? And then just being like a freaking squirrel all over the place, trying to do everything. But like, what happens when we try to do everything is usually nothing gets accomplished because we're disorganized. We jump from one task to the other, and then we leave a trail of like 15 undone things. And then we have to turn around and look back at that and then be like, oh my God, this is horrible, right? And then we feel bad, and then that cycle repeats itself. So when I see the Two of Pentacles, like I said, I go back to the High Priestess. If you're unfamiliar with her, she's sitting on a little throne. There is a veil behind her, and behind that veil, we get a little peek, and there's water. Not unlike the Two of Pentacles here with water in the background. Now, this water is a lot more tumultuous. It's rocky. There's boats on it. There's a lot of wind in the sails as well. So we can kind of imagine that there's more chaos and more momentum going on in the emotional realm, in the intuitive realm. Whereas in the High Priestess, she's just like pretty chill. And she's more so observing. The other thing I want you to embrace as you move through December, again in the theme of honesty, is giving yourself this space to feel your feelings. Now, there are times where it is appropriate to just say, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed. I need the break. And realistically, there are other times where the break isn't going to come. It cannot come. It hasn't, and it won't for a little while, and you have to push through. I want to tell you that this is not advocating for like toxic, just pushing your feelings down. I want you to use context clues here, because I'm sure as you've had life experiences already, you'll know that there's a time to unpack things later, because the opportunity is not now. And I want you to just notice where those moments are. We cannot always run to a safe space. We cannot always close the door to our bedroom and light some candles and sage and meditate and figure out why we're feeling a certain way. That's just not realistic. We are amazing human beings. We have the ability to compartmentalize. And I think when people kind of jump into spirituality, there's this demonization of compartmentalization. However, as someone that's, done therapy with people, compartmentalization is a very useful tool. It allows you, again, to focus on what you've got going on and to put something in the background. I want you to imagine that you're just putting it on a shelf. And that shelf, you're gonna, when you have the time, you're gonna take it off the shelf and you're gonna unpack it. This is the amazing part of being a human being, and I want you to use this to your advantage. I think sometimes our feelings, we believe that they need to take precedence over everything else in the world, and that's just not the case. December is a hectic month for a lot of reasons and for a lot of people. And so, what does balance look like to you on a day-to-day basis? I think sometimes we might project a little too far ahead and say, okay, let me get the month planned out. That's fine. I mean, I do the same thing. Like I said at the top of the episode, I've got my month planned out for launching this whole new thing I've got going on with the Hellacious Hotties Academy, and I'm so excited. And I also have to say, what do I have in the tank right now for myself, for my projects, and for all the other responsibilities that I have? I'm putting out these episodes for you guys. I've got client individual readings to do. I've got one-on-one coaching to do. My cup is very full in the best way. And that means that I have to either wake up really early and accomplish the things I want, or stay up a little later to get these things done. I don't have a problem doing that. My question to you is, what do you need to do to organize your life in a way that allows you to really touch on all the things that matter to you without losing sight of that balance? This is where preparation comes in. And I imagine that the High Priestess is very prepared for whatever it is that she is about to embark on, because she's sat there and she's meditated. But more before that, she's gathered herself. So, like I said, start your morning off with something that helps you stay balanced and focused and centered. Me, I love to journal. I love to say, okay, I'm going to visualize how my day is going to go. I'm going to visualize myself moving through my day. Right now, in this moment, I'm going to embrace the feelings that I want to experience. And then I'm going to give today my best shot. And at the end of the day, I'm going to reflect and I'm going to ask myself, where did I show up today? Even better than I showed up for myself yesterday. The important part of this, though, is harmony with yourself. All these things that we do every single day, they're amazing, but if we're not right with ourselves, we're not going to feel good about anything that we've done. We're not going to be able to reflect in a healthy way on what we've accomplished. Instead, we're just going to beat ourselves up for what we didn't do and all the other things that didn't get done. We're not going to have a balanced sense of a perspective. We're not going to have a balanced perspective. And I believe that that's what the High Priestess offers us. Two of Pentacles. Like I said, these tasks got to get done, baby. But there's a way to organize yourself internally so that way you can accomplish these things. But don't skip the steps of getting yourself right. Let's see what else December brings us. I feel like this one wants to come out. Okay. The Queen of Cups. We are in the realm of water here with her. We are in the realm of emotion, of intuition. Very interesting. I believe that she is really protecting herself here. Another card really focusing on keeping some things to yourself, keeping some things sacred. I also feel like with the Queen of Cups, her cup is full. So my question to you is, as you go through December, what do you need in your cup? So that way you can appropriately pour out onto the people around you. because December is such a high stress month, and because we also have a lot of things happening astrologically, and you guys can definitely check out my offerings around the astrology. I want you to hop into the new moon newsletter that goes out once a month. And just any of my newsletters, we're going to talk about all that. But the idea here with the Queen of Cups is like double water. I read queens as water, and then cups are the element of water. So she is ruling water. She is ruling her intuition. She is ruling her emotions. I imagine that the Queen of Cups is so freaking unbothered by things that are so out of her control that she's just like, it's not even on her radar. She is not pressed. She is not stressed. She is not worrying about it. She is like, well, you know what? I'm going to work on what I can work on and what I can control. And then the rest is up to God or the universe or whatever. And I'm just going to keep it moving. Be unbothered this December. Oh my God, the amount of people, the amount of clients that I have right now that are bothered. I'm like, you guys, why? For what? Who taught you that it was okay to run around and just give out all of your emotion and all of your care and all of your concern and empathy to people that don't care? To global things that you have absolutely no control over, no influence over, and are not even put on this earth to try and change. You know, I feel like this message also is like, please stay offline as much as you can in December. Please protect yourself. We know that there's a lot of chaos online, and a lot of people lack discernment online. There's a lot of stupid people with a lot of different, Instagram accounts, Facebook accounts, and whatever, all the accounts, rifling off comments. There's AI robots that are designed to get people into a conversation. It's not a real conversation, but it's like getting you in your emotions and triggering you. There's robots that are designed to do this, right? There's like lots of propaganda that's being spread. That only happens online. Who in your real life is walking around trying to argue with you day in and day out? Like, that's not even a thing, right? Or if it is, you need to get them out of your life. But what I'm saying is a lot of this online world stuff, it's toxic and it's unhelpful. YouTube is a beautiful platform because you're here to learn. It's geared towards learning. It's geared towards like more of a self-development kind of thing. I mean, of course, there's channels where there's like, nonsense type of stuff, but you're here right now. Hopefully you're not scrolling on your phone. Hopefully you're not scrolling on your phone. I'm looking at you scrolling on your phone. But when we're protecting our energy, we're pouring into ourselves. We're saying, I've got this reserved for the things that matter to me, and it's not about to get taken out of my scope, my realm, my kingdom, my queendom. I'm not about to just let these energy vampires take this away from. This is my energy. This is mine. And I have a right to protect it. This is what I'm here to do. I'm here to protect my energy and my intuition. Your intuition is not going to pop off when it's leaking because everything online is making you angry. Everything online is depleting you. That's not where your intuition is going to fly from, babe. Like you gotta clean it up. So December, I really think it might be an interesting experiment for you to just maybe batch when you get online. I don't know that like going cold turkey is an effective method, given that we understand the negative feedback loop, the dopamine feedback loop that Instagram and TikTok and all these other platforms create. Going cold turkey might create more stress, and then that might, push you out into your day-to-day life, make you cranky, irritated, like all the things. I don't want that for you. But I think an effective method can be batching your social media usage. And I actually really like this next to the Two of Pentacles, because to me, it's like, I read them. She's like, I'm not going to give all day, every day to things that don't matter to me. I have so much that matters to me because I matter to me. And I'm going to act in a way that I matter. If I matter, that means my energy matters. My thoughts matter. My intuition matters. And if I know it matters, I'm going to protect it. You have to represent yourself. This is your responsibility. Maybe just set aside 20 minutes twice a day. Set your little timer. I got a little timer right here. I have like a classic old school. I'm not talking into the microphone, excuse me. I have like a classic little old school timer. It chirps incredibly loudly. It's kind of annoying. But I use it when I do bouts of work, but I also use it when I do the batching social media, because I don't respond to everybody right away. There's a lot of people in my DMs, and I just kind of get to them when I can and reply to comments and stuff like that. Same thing goes for emails. So more structure in the what am I trying to say here? More structure for the sake of protecting yourself and protecting your energy. Okay, boo? You have to keep yourself balanced. So taking a little review on what throws you off balance is an effective step in your self-care. Okay, and our last card for December is the Ten of Cups in the reverse position. Interesting. I want to get a clarifier on this one. Ten of Cups inverted. It's already coming through. Some of y'all are just seriously clinging to like just stupid shit. The Star. Okay. Yep. Here we go. We're talking about detaching. We're talking about detaching. We're talking about letting go, or we're talking about the universe removing it from you because you're being stubborn. But then you have to deal with the consequences of feeling sad, feeling like a victim, all the things, when you could have just let it go in the first place. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Pause for a little break from our sponsor. I've got the Heartwork cortado today. It's so good. I get my cortados with oat milk because your girly can't do the dairy. It just doesn't, we don't jive. Me and dairy don't work together. Put a little dash of cinnamon in the cortado. So good. Shout out to my boo. You guys probably don't know this, but my boo brings me a cortado every morning, and it's the cutest thing, and I'm so grateful for him. Hey boo, hey. I know you're listening. Ten of Cups in the reverse position and the Star. So like I said, you can either detach from certain things now, and you can decide how you want to do that. Again, I really feel like in the realm of water and evaluating what is important, you will learn how to let go. You got to think bigger though. You got to think that like the universe has, you're here right now, and the universe wants to pour into you. But if you're holding on to stuff that like literally doesn't matter, you are blocked because you're holding on to it. There's no room for you to receive anything else. And so in the surrender, I understand that it can be painful. The Ten of Cups, I see this come up a lot with clients. We're talking about dreams. These dreams particularly have attachments to other people or to like other people. And I think that it can be a painful thing when you believe that you're supposed to be with the person and that they're your soulmate or your twin flame, or that you're supposed to have this life together and all these things. And then that comes crumbling down. The reality is this person isn't even texting you back. They ghosted you 2 weeks ago. You don't even have a relationship with them, because what kind of a relationship is that if they're not talking to you for 2 weeks? Like, it's not good. And you have to say, okay, I have to surrender the holding on. I have to surrender the false hope. I see the Ten of Cups in the inverted position as the false hope card. Let me tell you, I am not doing you a service if I pay into your false hope. My responsibility as your reader and as a coach is to wake you up so that way you can have the life that you want. You're not going to get anywhere with hope that is misappropriated. Let's talk about hope as an energy. Let's talk about hope as something that is exciting, that is beautiful, and that will really be able to pull you out of dark places. But then there's false hope. False hope keeps you stuck in dark places. It keeps you tormented. It keeps you lacking and scared to go bigger, to hope for more, to hope for better than what you're holding on to. The Star, interestingly, is also the card of hope, and this is a life lesson hope, not the Ten of Cups. Oh my God, I had hope that this would turn out great and it didn't. The Star is a lesson of like, no matter what happens, you can choose to be hopeful for something. And I understand that hoping is scary because you risk the emotional 10 of cups in the inverted position. You risk having to potentially lose something. But there is no love and there is no true experience in life without some type of risk. That higher experience that you want, when we talk about the star, she comes after the tower. She comes after the turmoil to say, you know what? There is something greater. You are allowed to want better. You're allowed to want more. You are allowed to start from something new. You're allowed to bring your energy back to yourself and say, well, what is it? What else do I want in this life? If your life isn't over, then you can hope for more experiences. This time of year really gets people in their feelings. Like I said, have a lot of clients, and a few of them will end up, going home this year to their family and to their hometown, and they'll, run into someone that they dated in high school, and then a lot of feelings will start to surge back up, I guess. I don't know how to say that. Resurface. That's what I'm trying to say. I think I'm trying to put two words together that don't match. They'll resurface, and then they will get so kicked off into a fantasy realm of like, this is how it was in high school, and it was amazing, and I totally love them. And I'm like, honey. The person in front of you they may be the same person that they were in high school. And if that's true, that's a red flag because we are 30 years into the future. But get to know this person again. You are holding on to the past. You are holding on to a fantasy. You are holding on to false hope. Cool. Y'all had some drinks. You caught up. You have feelings. You don't know if this person also has feelings unless they have told you. I want you to take it upon yourself to initiate and have a conversation. So if you find yourself in this boat, take that tip. I'm going to tell you the same thing. You don't have to book a reading with me for me to tell you that. And if you do end up having some feelings and they have feelings, explore them. See what's possible. See what can happen. I want this for you. But with the 10 of Cups in the reverse position and the star, I think too, as we close out the year in December, a lot of people are like, oh my God, I didn't do 90% of my New Year's resolutions. As a coach, I would want to ask you, what contributed to that? What got in the way, right? What are the thought processes? What are the beliefs? What are the feelings? What are the actual physical challenges and, hurdles that came up for you? And maybe moving into next year, do you want to try to tackle those things again? And if yes, what are you going to do differently that you didn't do in 2023? Again, star talking about, let's talk about the future. Let's focus on the things that we can control and let's go get it. As we release the things that we didn't do this year, we may have some mourning. We may have some sadness. We may have some grief. What I want to make sure that we are avoiding is beating ourselves up unnecessarily, is belittling ourselves and talking to ourselves negatively. Life happens for everyone. Some things are out of your control, and some things you had a lot of feelings around, and that is just what it is. How can you continue to just be with yourself and say, okay, I've got this. You deserve kindness, and the star is actually all about that because she rules compassion. It is not an act of compassion to sit here and be like, oh my God, I'm the worst person ever. I'm so dumb. I didn't freaking do anything right in 2023. All this stuff happened and it's not right to sit there and blame. Oh my God, my kids got in the way. They did this, that, and the other. Or my husband didn't support me. My wife didn't support me. My boss hates me. Okay. That's not compassionate. That whole narrative, any of those narratives, they're matching the victim, the inner victim. Write down the reasons why you didn't do what you wanted to do. Write down what got in the way. Again, thoughts, beliefs, feelings, physical things that popped up in the world. And then say, what do I want to do about it in 2024? That is compassion. Compassion is leveling with yourself where you're at. You're not a victim. You're not a victim. You want to go into 2024 with an empowered mindset, then you can't play the victim game. I talk about this a lot because I see this a lot. And I'm also guilty of it sometimes. So, you're getting it from a pro. You're getting it from someone who not only understands it, but has like lived this experience. And I want us all, myself included, to do better in 2024. You know what? I feel pretty good. Let me just pull one more card for a closeout to 2024. I mean, oh my God, here I am. We're already closing out 2024, 2023. All right, boo. Here's what we got. The Four of Swords. I love this. I want you to close out 2023 with rest and with peace. I think this is cool. So this photo here, I don't know if she has like swords near her, or if they just made the visual of her like spiky, but I do think about Our Lady Sorrows when I see her in the stained glass. For all of you off camera, I'm not using the traditional deck. I'm using the Illuminati Tarot. And so you can look that up online to get the imagery for the Four of Swords. So I think the Four of Swords is really cool because I feel like the foundation of the mindset is peace. The foundational mindset is openness and is growth. There is nothing to really worry about. Think about and plan about 100%. Yeah, that's on deck for sure. Worry about? No. Also, what has worry ever accomplished? What did you ever seriously do with worry? Particularly worried in the direction of things that you have no influence over and that you cannot control. We're going to circle back to the Two of Pentacles. We're going to circle back to the Queen of Cups. We're going to allow ourselves to close out 2023 with a calm mind and a calm spirit. Whatever you need to do to get yourself into that place, you need to do it. You need to prioritize that. You deserve that. In the Four of Swords, this individual has a sword aimed at their head, aimed at their throat, and aimed at their heart. And so I think about the third eye chakra, the throat chakra, and the heart chakra. I think about these areas above the neck. I guess the heart isn't above the neck, but the heart and above the neck. And I think about them all being at peace. It's going to be very challenging for you to hear your source. And what I mean by that is you're the source. You need to go contemplate with yourself a little bit more. You need to listen to yourself. You are the source. You need to go back to you time and time again. When you're taking on a bunch of shit that people say on Instagram, when you're having conversations that don't really freaking matter, when your heart is heavy with things that you cannot control, you are not in service. You are in service to other people, but you are not in service to yourself. You're not operating from the most highest place. These areas, they need to be open, calm, centered, harmonious. You want to be in a state of flow, in a state of receptivity. Swords typically represent more of an active kind of energy, but it's the only active energy we have here. Because Pentacles are receptive, water is receptive, Queen of Cups, Ten of Cups. Star card is a balance of those things. It's ruled by air because it's an Aquarius energy, but it is also moving with water, that receptivity. But the Four of Swords, when we see the Four of Swords, it's uniquely about how do you want to move in a way that is calm, cool, collected, and confident, right? What does that look like to you? What does that feel like to you? What is the mindset and belief behind that? And then, what does that do for you on the day-to-day? It allows you to be able to really sink into just enjoying what's around you. I know how it's hard to get away from the busyness and from the distractions and to set your mind, again, go back to compartmentalization, to put those things on the back burner and to choose, I'm not going to worry about this. I'm going to focus on something else. I know how that's hard, especially when you're stressed, especially when everyone's demanding that you pay attention to the things that matter to them. But the reality is, you have to take care of you. You have to put in place the habits that allow you to break away from the worry and the things you can't control and to just come into your center. When I see the Four of Swords, I almost automatically go like inhale, exhale. The act of breathing, it's so simple. We're doing it all the time. But many of us actually don't know how to breathe properly because we are, in that state of heightened awareness, and we're breathing from our chest. But when we drop into our diaphragm and into our stomach, this is when we're engaging other parts of our nervous system that move us into rest and digest. I always think about that in the Four of Swords. I think about resting and digesting. So this is why those deep inhales from the belly are so important. They help us create some space in our mind. They help us distance ourselves from the worry, from the things we can't control. They help us evaluate, actually, am I having a conversation that matters to me, or I'm just talking nonsense right now? Am I talking about things that I don't know? What am I doing? It actually allows us to see things in a more objective way. And that is an open-hearted space, because judgment from the mind and from the heart are more blocked. They're not as open. They're not as receptive. But in that way, we're actually less active. We might be doing, but we're not doing with purpose, integrity, or intention. We're just doing for the sake of doing. So December holds a lot of really interesting energy, and I'm going to be very curious to know how this works with all of you on an individual level. And I'm very curious to know how this lands with you already as we move into December 1. This is a longer episode than I've been doing recently, but I felt called to it. I felt like I really wanted to get into the meat of December and give you guys some really juicy content and things to think about and ways to structure your time and ways to structure and protect your energy, because time can't get it back. Energy, yeah, it's always flowing, but working with it, you got to optimize what you have, right? And if you're disorganized, you can't do that. I want to see you organized. I want to see you thriving. I want to see you out here just honestly feeling good about your life and excited about whatever December is going to bring you in 2024. Okay, boo? I love you. Thank you so much for being here. If you've listened all the way through, I would really appreciate a follow if anything landed with you. And then also, I really love when you guys tag me on Instagram, showing me whatever you're doing when you're listening to it, hot girl walks, workouts, running around with the kids. Somebody posted me on their TV and they're like, I'm watching Jesse Empress, and I was like, whoa, that's a big image of me, you guys, on your freaking screen. But it made me laugh and I appreciated it. It lets me know that there are people listening. I know I see the numbers on here, but I love knowing who it is specifically, who are the eyes. But I love you, and I will talk with you soon, maybe in 2024, maybe sooner. But until then, bye.